Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Friday. Hope everybody's having an amazing day thus far. Today's episode is brought to you by ByHeart. ByHeart is an infant nutrition company built from the ground up to deliver real innovation on behalf of babies and parents. Their mission is simple: make the best formula in the world. This year, our friends at ByHeart, the only American-made formula with globally sourced ingredients to use organic, grass-fed, whole milk, never skim, are celebrating all the ways in which they never skim on anything, especially your babies. ByHeart never skims on healthy fats. They use only organic, grass-fed whole milk. Whole milk is full of healthy fats like naturally occurring MFGM, which play an important role in brain development and growth. And ByHeart never skims on their standards. Their formula is made with certified clean ingredients, plus it has no soy, corn syrup, GMOs, nor palm oil. So try ByHeart today and celebrate their commitment to never skimming on all the important benefits when it comes to infant formula. Are you curious about ByHeart? Redeem your welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast with code TOAST20 only for a limited time. Additional terms and conditions do apply. That link is ByHeart, BYHEART.com/podcast, and that code is TOAST20, TOAST20 for a limited time. So if you are curious about ByHeart, redeem that welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast and use our code TOAST20 for a limited time. Additional terms and conditions do apply. One more time, that code is TOAST20 at byheart.com/podcast. We are so excited to be partnering with ByHeart for today's episode. The entire episode is sponsored by ByHeart. So thank you so much and welcome to The Toast. Hope everybody had a great day thus far. I am so excited for today's episode.
I'm so excited for today's episode for a number of reasons. It's Friday. Mazel tov.
So true.
Congrats, grads. We did it, and we're going into a long holiday weekend.
Oh my God, I didn't even think
So we
about
have that holiday weekend energy and that joie de vivre.
Yeah, I feel like when we come back to the show on Tuesday, not Monday, don't get it twisted, we're going to be like tan and full of life.
What's also exciting is that we already recorded Monday's Patreon episode for you guys.
Yeah.
We recorded it yesterday. It's all about Toast Inside Jokes, Teeny Lexicon, explaining everything that we say and why we say it. And that will drop on Monday. So if you're looking for an episode, there'll be one on patreon.com/thetoast. So also we can go into the weekend
Feeling good.
clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
So I feel like there's a lot of people listening to today's episode. And before we get to the meat of the thing that like everybody wants us to talk about, let's just say hi, welcome. The Toast is a daily podcast. We stream live on YouTube and anywhere you can get your podcast Monday through Friday. We usually drop the episodes at about noon. Jackie and I are sisters. We love each other very much. Some core values here at The Toast are just like joy, humor, family, love, etc. And of course, pop culture. We do 5 pop culture stories every day. The first half of the show is usually just girly girls chit-chatting, you know? And then the second half,
chit-chat.
Girly swirly chit chat. And then the second half of the show is pop culture. We also have a Patreon where for $7.99 every month, you can get 5 extra episodes, vlogs, podcast episodes from your girls, kind of an amazing price. And we're also doing live shows this summer at the Beacon Theater in New York City in the West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center. There aren't a lot of tickets left. So we will be serving Spritz Society. It's going to be an amazing, amazing night. I cannot wait. And
Speaking
that's
of Spritz
the Toast
Society.
thetoastpodcast.com/tour. Let me just get that in, thetoastpodcast.com/tour. Even though there's like no tickets left, I don't even know why I'm like shilling it.
Speaking of Spritz Society in the Hamptons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good segue.
Summer House was on last night, my new fave show.
I also, perfect timing, like Hashem was looking out for your girl. I yesterday was like, I need to get in on Summer House because the finale's airing next week, then the reunion, there's all this drama. And I knew that last night on Watch What Happens Live, there was going to be something involving us. And I was like, I need to do my homework. I need to come prepared. So I watched about 5 or 6 episodes of Summer House last night and this morning. And I also watched Watch What Happens Live, which is what we are really here to talk about.
Yes. So this last night's episode of Watch What Happens Live with Kyle was recorded a few days ago. And
yes.
I
have a mole.
Some mole, shout out mole, let us know that there was a conversation about Spritz and Loverboy and Ben and Kyle and Craig.
And so that's why we watch. I don't normally watch Watch What Happens Live with like 2 losers, but I did. And I will say, I wasn't like bothered. So many people were DMing me like, oh my God, you have to hear what Kyle said on Watch What Happens Live. And his general gist was like, you know, you could tell he's very protective of his brand, and I totally get that. And he was like mad and all butthurt, and it felt like he was like a little threatened that Kyle joined our company. Craig joined our company. He invested. He's a new ambassador. We're going to be doing a lot of fun like things, events, flavors, trips to the Cape. And so I didn't really feel like he said anything that crazy on the episode. Like he was just being like
on
douchey and whatever.
And he honestly was giving like sad. He seemed a little sad when he climbs into bed. He starts feeling sad that Craig invested in Spritz society.
In us.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna like do an episode on it, like whatever. But then this morning, so many people were sending me, like he really went in on the after show. And what he did was lie. And he didn't even lie about me. He lied about two people I love very much. Obviously my husband, who I'll seriously like ride for till the end, and who's such a good, honest, loving person and not duplicitous. Like he loves Spritz Society. It's his livelihood, but like it's not his entire world. You know, he's not going to be out here like scheming at night, stealing ideas. Okay. And then he also lied about my good friend, our good friend, Craig Conover, calling him a liar. And I just felt like there were a few things I wanted to add color to. And clear up. So you can all make your decisions, whether you're team, whatever. There are no teams. There's room for all of us. But it's important that you have all the facts. And, you know, he went on Watch What Happens Live and like slung some pretty serious accusations. And I just want to give, because I have all the facts. Yeah. I have all the dates, I have all the timestamps, and I have the receipts. So let me just clear up a few things. And actually, I'm going to be looking to my left because I wrote them down because he said a couple of things. I just want to directly
make sure you hit every point.
And I think that a really huge piece of the context that a lot of people might not have about Loverboy and the show is, and they've said this on the show, but you might not have put it together, is that Loverboy is Kyle's company, and he doesn't take on investors. Like, you know, anytime you have a startup, we have a ton of investors from all different parts of the country. Some of them you guys know, the Skinny Confidential, Shannon Ford. That's more of an influencer partnership where people invest and they get equity, but we also use their name and likeness. That's what we're doing with Craig, because we really believe like in compensating talent. You know, you're coming to us, you're giving us your Instagram, like that's value. We know that that's valuable, and we believe, you know, in compensating people fairly. And at Loverboy, you know, it's just Kyle. He doesn't take on investors, and he certainly doesn't give any equity to his castmates or fellow influencers, fellow Bravo stars who are doing a lot of work and selling a lot of product for them.
Who are holding Loverboy in every episode, talking about Loverboy in every episode, talking about the new flavor. Oh, this pear tastes good.
And these aren't nobodies. These are people with hundreds of thousands of followers, with fans of their own, with successful podcasts, Giggly Squad. Like, these aren't nobodies.
Who other brands would pay thousands for that and do that.
So I can see why that might be frustrating for Kyle. Like, he's really gotten away with sort of robbing his castmates. And it's you know, famously become an issue, Hannah Berner. You know, they talked a lot about their reunion when Hannah Berner's out here like shilling product for him, getting nothing in return. And then she gets eviscerated for taking a brand deal with Truly, which is a canned malt beverage. And like Kyle made it his mission to destroy Hannah and get her kicked off the show because she literally is trying to make a living. Like, It's insane. So that's just a little bit of context. And that makes him very stressed, I think. Like, he's said on the show how, you know, he has funded the company, not with investors. We have funded the company with tons of investors. Like, that's how, you know, we make payroll, and that's how we can afford marketing and things like that. He doesn't do that, and he's taken out personal loans, which is obviously a very brave thing to do. So I see why he's like really protective over it. Like, I totally get it. If I was $4 million in personal loans, like I would be freaking too. Like, I'd be doing everything I could to make this company successful. And even if that meant, you know,
saying your wife can't go do her own little pet project because you need her.
Like, that's why he's so stressed,
on the show, we see that. And then also that's why he was kind of feeling like backed into a corner with the Craig thing and started just slinging these accusations that aren't true.
So Ben and Craig are two people I know very well and really love and respect. And they're like grown men who aren't gonna like get on their podcasts like and defending themselves. But I am, because I'm not a grown woman. I'm a child, and I have the facts.
You're not a grown man.
No, I'm not a grown man, and neither is Kyle. So like, we're just going to be duking it out. That's fine. Like, here's just the facts, okay? It's just important. The first thing is how Craig got involved in the company. It wasn't this like big master scheme. It was actually such a pure story, and of course, it involves Taylor Swift. Like, I've known Craig and Paige forever, but Ben recently. Well, when was Eras in New York? Maybe a year and a half ago. No, actually,
a year ago.
Exactly a year
last
ago.
Summer.
So I went to Eras tour like 3 times. The second night I went with a brand, and when we went with a brand, they had like this party bus. Craig and Paige were there too. They invited a bunch of influencers. There was this party bus, and of course, you know, Ben's like, yeah, can we get Spritz on the bus? And the girls who worked for the brand were like, toasters, so cute. Spritz on the bus, Spritz in the suite, Spritz everywhere. And Craig was like pounding them. He was like, these are so good. And he didn't know it was our company. He was just like, oh my God, I love these. And then we were all hanging out. We ended up driving them home. Craig was like asking me so many questions about Taylor Swift. And that's where him and Ben really became friends. Of course, golf was a huge part of it. When he found out we were the owners of Spritz, he like wanted to get involved. Ben loves doing partnerships like this, like involving people who want to invest, but also have an audience and have an Instagram following. Like, that's a match made in heaven. So Craig, we've been working with Craig for a while. We only recently announced that he was going to be joining us, and we have a lot of fun things coming up with Craig. But that's how it started. Like, no one was thinking about Kyle. Like, nobody thinks about Kyle and Loverboy. Like, two things can exist, like, and two people can be successful. And there's a million canned cocktail companies besides us, and they're all bigger than us. And it's like, it's not a big deal. So just, it was never about that. But I think Craig was aware that he wanted to tell Kyle in his own way. And another piece of context that is important, like so important and factual, is that Craig took Kyle out to dinner before the announcement, not the day before, like a week before it was going to be announced, and said, maybe actually more than a week. And he said, I want to let you know I'm doing this partnership with Ben and the Toast Girls, but if you will let me invest in Loverboy, I won't do it.
Like I would rethink based on what you have an offer for me.
Craig's really smart about his money. I feel like that's kind of been like the Craig, a redemption story on Southern Charm. People like thought he was a joke with the sewing. Literally, his company is huge sewing down south. They thought he was a joke with the lawyer. He passed the bar. People don't take him seriously, and I think he's having this sort of redemption era. He's really smart, and he wanted to invest in a ready-to-drink cocktail. And he said, listen, I really love Spritz, but of course, like I will invest in you if you don't want me to do Spritz. And of course, like I said earlier, that's not something Loverboy does. They don't want to give other people equity. Kyle wants to remain in control of the company. That's why he took out the personal loans. And he said no. So Kyle knew he had first right of refusal. And I feel like Craig really, that's like what a good, honest person does.
Right.
And so to be called a liar on the show and then like completely not include that very vital conversation, was dishonest of Kyle. And I don't like that. And I don't like you calling my friend a liar. Craig is a really good person. Like he's an honest, he loves Paige. He's a hardworking guy. Like,
also at this point, we have about like a decade of footage on Craig, and lie he does not.
No, he's a good,
the way that Kyle said
sweetheart.
Like Craig's a liar, like everyone knows he's a liar.
Everyone
like,
knows.
No, he's not, and no, we don't.
No, we don't know that. Like he's a good, and I think that's really why him and Ben, sparked when they met. Like they're really similar, like hard work, like their values are aligned, like hardworking. I mean, Craig would die for Paige. Ben would die for me. Like they're just like honest, good, faithful people who just like want to have fun. Like it's not that serious. So it really had nothing to do with Loverboy, but now it does because like he's making up lies. Now another lie that was told that I must defend my husband, because if you know, to know Ben is to know he's literally incapable of deception. He is a golden retriever, sweetheart. And Kyle said on the after show that the founder of Spritz Society, that's BSC, Ben Soffer, my husband, took him out to dinner the night before the Craig announcement was made. Now, this is why I love patreon.com/thetoast. Ben did go to dinner with Kyle Cook. I happened to be vlogging that evening because I knew Ben's going to be out of the house. And my book club was coming over. I have a book club. We meet monthly. And I vlogged, the Balabusta, getting my apartment ready, home decor, very, homemaker energy. And I was saying, I'm like, oh my God, Ben's going to dinner with Kyle Cook. Ben and Kyle Cook have never met up until recently. They both were speaking at this beverage conference. And somebody introduced them. They might have like a partner in common who they work with. I don't remember who introduced them, but they met. And they were like going to dinner. I was like, oh my God, this is like so mature. I love that.
Yeah.
And Ben was like, it's literally not a big deal. I'm like, okay. Ben was just like so chill. It's all in the vlog. And I'm like, what are you guys going to do? Trade secrets? Like it was so sweet and innocent. And Kyle went on and said that Ben used that dinner the night before the announcement with Craig. Now, if you look at the dates of the Patreon and when we announced Craig, they're weeks apart. And he used that dinner to milk information from Kyle. Couldn't be further from the truth. Kyle sat at that dinner and was like, I feel like your wife, Claudia, doesn't like me. Well, I don't know. And I'm not going to lie. I stand firmly with Hannah Berner. So yeah, I didn't really love you before that, but I didn't know you personally. So the jury was out on how I felt, but all I knew was I didn't like what you did to my friend Hannah Berner, and I don't love how you act on the show, so that's all I know.
Yeah.
But I reserve judgment. I like to meet people in person. Still have never met Kyle Cook. One time he was on The Morning Breath. I wasn't there.
He was.
I've literally never met him.
Yeah.
So now obviously I have, a couple of issues with how you talked about people I love, but it's never too late to apologize, like seriously, because facts are important, and I have a few more facts that I want to give. Now, let me just, did I get that? Yeah, Craig isn't a liar. I'm going to defend my friend. He's a good, honest person, so don't say that. Like, that bothers me. Ben didn't milk you for information. You had like a nice, it was like kind of so mature of them when Ben got back from dinner. He was like, it was just nice to talk to somebody like
doing something similar, like taking on the big companies, renegade.
Yeah.
Like they have
like very influencer focused. That's like Ben's passion.
Yeah, they have like more in common than most people, and it doesn't have to be competitive.
And did Ben tell Kyle Cook about the Craig Conover work deal at dinner? No. One, the deal wasn't final. Two, they had just met. You don't like share company things with I don't know in what world Ben would have owed Kyle Cook anything. Like he didn't tell him, and that's literally not weird.
Yeah.
So that's another fact. And then on the after show, the general insinuation was that like our business is a failure. We're copying Loverboy, and we're losers. Spritz is doing very well. We just launched in Target, which is super, super exciting. We have a lot of fun things coming up in the pipeline. You know, it's a small business. We're not huge, but you know, we do our best, and we have a lot of fun, exciting, you know, things, and a lot of things we've accomplished that we're really proud of, and we're going to keep going, and we love it, and we do very well. So eat my ass.
Yeah, they made it sound just like very conspiratorial. Like this cheater brand is failing, and so they're grasping to do something just like Kyle. And it's like, it's so not like that. This is one of many collaborations that we've done, that we do, and that we're going to continue to do. And Craig is like a natural extension of the brand, and literally nobody was thinking about Kyle and Loverboy. And like, I guess that's hard when no one's thinking about you.
And we're literally not competitors. Like I feel are very clear about what we do. We are a canned cocktail company. All of our beverages are sparkling wine based. Like that's what we do. It's a very specific sort of drink. And you know, Kyle said last night, like, we're not even a spritz company. You're not. He couldn't really define what kind of company they are, because I know they sell espresso martinis in a can, limoncello in a can, teas in a can, spritzes in a can, non-alcoholic beverages. They would put their urine in a can and sell it if they could. Like, they sell everything. And that's so, and by the way, they do really well. Like, I really don't like to clown on other people's businesses. That urine thing was mean. I take that back. But you know what I mean? They sell a lot of different beverages. And that's great. We're different. There are a million companies, and really none of them have anything to do with the other. Loverboy has nothing to do with Spritz, and Spritz certainly has nothing to do with Loverboy. So we're not the same. Like, we're actually not, Andy said direct competitors. We're actually not.
Yeah.
And then the last point I wanted to say that I think is most important, actually two things. One, Kyle accused us of copying him, which just isn't true. I would say this on under oath. I would say this on lie detector. I swear on my family. I've actually never in my life tried a Loverboy. And I don't know if Kyle Cook can say the same about Spritz, because he literally placed an order from our website, and I have a receipt, and I have his address, and I have his email. So let's not lie, because paper trails are of the utmost importance. That's that. And then the last thing I wanted to say is you can use code CRAIG20 at spritzsociety.com for 20% off site-wide. That's CRAIG20 at spritzsociety.com. We have a ton of flavors. I was actually drinking a passion fruit one this morning, our newest flavor, but I happen to really love peach. It depends. You know, flavors are so specific and so personal. So there's a flavor for everyone. We've got lemon, we've got grapefruit, we've got blood orange, we've got passion fruit. We did a limited time collab with Clausen Pickles, and you can actually get that collab in some stores. So just head to spritzsociety.com.
Pink lemonade. That's
our Skinny Confidential collab.
That's in Target.
Yes. So you can head to spritzsociety.com for a store locator and see where we're sold near you. And if we're not in a store near you yet, you can order online. So it's fabulous. It's fabulous. Thank you, Kyle Cook, for giving us an excuse to shill our product.
Talk about Spritz. It's been a while.
It's been a while. So that's code CRAIG20 at spritzsociety.com. And I think I got through all my notes. At the end of the day, you know, there's space for all of us. There's no need to be slinging insults. Kyle and Craig are like low-key not even that close, but like that's also not important. But
right.
I didn't like that. You know, you could say what you want about me. I'm like accustomed to it. People say stuff about me, but don't say stuff about Ben. Like seriously, I'll kill you.
Yeah, that's just so off the mark.
Yeah, no, like I feel like making Ben the villain in your story, you're never going to be believed. Like Ben is not the villain in anyone's story.
No, unless he's just like muting the microphone and not turning it back up. But it's not malicious intent.
And it's of the utmost importance that we say here, like no one's allowed to clown on Ben Soffer except for us. No one's allowed to lie on his name except for us. It's a role I take extremely seriously.
Yeah. And
don't step on my turf, okay?
Okay.
I'm so glad we got that out of the way. Like living for the drama. Like, thank you, Kyle, like for like bringing us into this. Now it's like, by the way, this is such a great moment for our business. And I know that was like the opposite of his goal, but like you lie, that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Anyways, spritzsociety.com.
And now's as good a time as any to do Summer House recap, because now you're caught up. And I want to hear your thoughts on the season, because I don't have too many thoughts about last night's episode. It did kind of feel like circling the drain of...
Wait, hold on. One of the Spritz founders texted me. They wanted me to add like a little bit more clarification, because like, you understand, like these are business people. They don't get involved in like TV drama, and now they're excited.
Right.
2 points of clarification here. We didn't take him out to dinner. He paid for himself. That is important. 2, he approached us to go to dinner. Also important.
Interesting. Okay. Where'd they go to dinner?
And maybe add in that at dinner, we were so kind to offer like that we should do stuff together. They were talking about partnerships, like throwing parties together, introducing Loverboy to the Toast community.
Cute.
Like they wanted, Ben is like so mature like that. Like,
yeah. Rising tides raise all tides.
Yeah. Well, not today.
Where'd they go to dinner?
You want me to ask?
Yeah. I feel like it's germane and I'm hungry.
Okay, Where did you guys eat? Just curious. Okay, I asked.
Okay.
But yes, I'm all caught up on Summer House. And by the way, if you're listening and you hear like a little bit of a buzzing, the air conditioning in my studio is out. And seriously, the fact that I showed up here today is I'm so committed to this line of work. And you're going to have to deal with this little fan because it's the only thing keeping me from fainting.
But aren't you moving studios soon?
I'm really working on it. It's just like a thing I've put on the back burner ever since Kyle Cook came for me. Like I haven't been able to think of anything else.
She can't do it.
Like I haven't been able to think of anything else.
Do you think you'll move before the summer or after?
No, after,
Okay.
which is like still. But they did say the air conditioning's supposed to be fixed today, but they have been saying that for like 2 weeks.
For 2 years.
Yeah. So just like send prayers. And if I look a little flush, like it's just the heat.
Okay. So we're not worried about you.
Yeah, and I know everyone's always worried about me. Like, oh my God, she's too skinny. Like things like that.
Yeah, things of that nature.
Things in which like that.
Things of that elk.
Summer House recap. Yeah, so I'm all caught up. I have so many thoughts.
What are your
First
thoughts
of
on
all,
the season at large?
So good. Like, it's so crazy how Paige DeSorbo is like so uninvolved in any of the drama or storyline, and she's my most favorite character. Like, I can't wait. I can't get enough screen time of her. Like, I love her so much. She's so gorgeous. Like, it's literally sick. And to be so gorgeous and have such a personality, like, it's like God does have favorites. God has favorites, like for real. And so stylish, so beautiful, so perfect, so nice. Like, you couldn't say a bad word about her if you tried.
Yeah, I wonder where it comes from. Like, I wonder what her, like, if in childhood,
yeah,
was she ugly duckling?
I don't know, but
because it's
she's not
such a
anymore.
fire point.
Yeah. So many thoughts. Okay, I'm just gonna go through each cast member. I love Jesse Solomon so much. I would lay my life out on the line for him. Him and Wes are really amazing additions. It's high time, like the men on the show started doing something.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh my God, the hate I have for Carl. Like I can't. Like you know what it is, and this is exactly why him and Lindsay. You could take Lindsay. So you could argue both sides. Whatever. Like I'm not gonna take sides.
By the way, she was a child model. She wasn't an ugly duckling.
Oh, that's so funny.
I think she modeled for Limited too.
They went to Oceans on 19th and Park, Kyle and Ben.
Okay, cool. Yum.
I love that restaurant, actually. It's so good. Oh, what was I saying?
Carl, the hate.
Here's what it is about Carl and Lindsay and why I lean more team Lindsay, but it's definitely personality based. Lindsay, I feel I have a very similar energy to. We're very like sort of tough love. I hate the word aggressive for a woman, but like straight to the point. Yeah, and her saying like someone crushing it in life is a turn on for me. Like I get that. Carl is extremely beta. Like I need sensitivities. I need hugs. Like I'm sorry. Like
even
no.
when I'm like not doing well and being a loser, like it's like the loser you are, like the more coddling and attention that you need. When it's like no, strength is rewarded.
And Lindsay's over here like doing the most, making double what Carl has made this year. I can't believe he shared those numbers, what they make from brand deals. I thought that was so interesting.
And that he was lame
it's because I'm not a woman.
Lame enough to say it's because he's not a woman. Like, sorry, look at Craig on a reality show, booming business.
Look at Craig. It bothered me so much that like he's just so excuse. And even that shit presentation Kyle gave him, like pennies on the dollar, like he's so grateful for it. Like he's really loser energy, I think, when it comes to his line of work. And I think Lindsay thinks the way that she's going to get him to do what she wants and to be the best version of himself is sort of tough love and just straight to the point.
She's not even, Claudia, she's not even being tough.
No, she's just asking questions.
And like not even asking interrogative questions, to use his word. She's just trying to understand the conversation. Can't understand what was said if I don't like ask you what was said. She's coming at him with like no anger, no malice, nothing, but like he can't even answer a question.
Yeah,
he
it's
just
really
wants
frustrating.
like blind support, and she's not supposed to even have information, let alone opinions.
No, and by the way, like they're getting married. She's been very clear about how much she wants to have children, and this like lines of work and careers. Really, I don't think she's unreasonable in wanting that to be figured out as soon as possible. And like him still dilly-dallying at the same company with the same guy, it's like a joke.
It's a joke, and the fact that he had to leave the company because it was like a toxic workplace for him. He needed 8 months to decompress from that job while he figured out his next step, and then his next step is to go back. She's right to say that it's like an ex. And she also clarified on Watch What Happens Live because Andy was like, you don't really want to be a stay-at-home mom, do you? And she was like, no, at that time, we're getting married soon. I want to have kids immediately, which means like in a year, I could be on maternity leave, which I deserve, to have some time off once I've had a child. And that's in the immediate future. And what will Carl be doing for work? Can I even go on maternity leave next year? No, if he doesn't have a job.
No, it's so
especially
fair.
when she at this point is an influencer entrepreneur, works for herself. So like if you're not working, you don't get paid. It's not like a job where you go on maternity leave and it's paid, even if it's
you get
3
paid,
months.
right.
Like if you stop working for 3 months, you have no income. And if your husband's not working, you have zero income and you have a new baby. Unacceptable.
Yeah. Agreed. I think she's totally justified. I just think their methods of communication and deep down, like their personalities are not right. And I don't know why I didn't see that earlier, because last season I thought they were really good together. But that was because he was like standing up for himself against Kyle and like really wanting to move forward. And now he's just like moving backwards.
And he was like cleaving onto Lindsay, like, which a good husband and also like maybe a little bit of a lost man should do, is like lean on your wife. She is strong and she will help you, but do not like, but now he's not doing that. He's like
villainizing her.
So adversarial. And yes, they're obviously not the right match for each other, but Carl wouldn't be, their names are just too similar.
Carl, Craig, and Kyle. I don't know how we're supposed to get through this episode.
They're not the right match for each other, but Carl is not at a point in his life to find a match because he is not whole.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And nothing to do with like his addiction or anything like that. It's like as a man and like the things that like you need to do to like work hard and provide, like he makes excuses. So like there's no partner that would be better for him. I mean, maybe like he could do the circuit of like a really young girl who like doesn't see the faults in him, and then she like grows up and matures and is like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think people forget Lindsay's age. And I also think Lindsay gets a bad rap in relationships. But what I've realized, and I'm like loving Lindsay, what I've realized is that she has horrible taste in men and she has high expectations for a partner. So those two things like really don't mesh well. Because I don't want to use the word high maintenance, but I think she just has like high standards for what her partner should be doing for her in the relationship, for them in their future family, in a career. And she also picks bad men.
Okay, I don't think her standards have been high this season. He's been out of work for a year now. She's put up with that.
Some people dating like a reality star who films a show like would be enough.
Oh, like,
but she wants more than that. She wants stability. Yeah, because what's not being said is that they get paid to be on the show and to fight.
But the show is 2 months out of the year. If it were
think about what all the other castmates do. Like think about Paige, fashion contributor, podcaster, influencer, Amazon Live host, reality star. Like everybody does a million things because they film like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Lindsay, and I thought it was so dismissive, and I get what he was saying. He was like, you don't have to keep bringing up your, old PR job, but having built a successful company, like you're not a moron.
No, and you are poised to offer advice.
Yeah, and he was just like clearly threatened by that. I don't like them as a couple, and if I'm going to take a side, it's certainly going to be Lindsay's because I don't think she's being unreasonable. I think her delivery is just like not picture perfect. I need a high sensitive
her delivery
question.
Is picture perfect. What more? She's being so measured. She
actually is.
What else could she? How would it be better, objectively? What could she do better?
And then he goes and like sits with Kyle, who like gasses him up. He obviously doesn't like them as a couple, and he doesn't like Lindsay, and so he just thinks he's so right, and he thinks he has like this moral superiority. It bothers me so much.
No, when the boys get together and like offer advice on the other's relationship.
The blind leading the blind. I mean, Kyle just called his wife a fucking bitch. Why are we listening to him?
Right. And the other ones, like Jesse, I mean, at least Jesse Solomon knows enough to say like, don't loop me into this. I'm pitching tomorrow. Like I have no experience.
Yeah. Okay, wait, other people. I love the idea of Amanda creating a swimwear line for big-breasted women. I think, first of all, I'd be their number one customer. And second of all, she does have this like really unique design, POV. She's super talented. I encourage her to do it. I love that. Mm-hmm. Wes and Sierra. Like, everyone is obsessed with Wes, and like, I get it. But like this whole, I don't know if I'm ready to be in a relationship. Like, grow up. I really have no time for that. And,
no, the chickens are coming home to roost. It's been probably like 6 weeks of them having a good time. So like, this would be the time in any relationship for like to shit or get off the pot in one way, like starting with exclusivity even. So I feel like he's a great personality for like the first 6 weeks. Everything's really fun. But I like that she's like laying down the law and like being serious and not gonna like keep living this way. It's you can't. Not if you want something serious.
Danielle has been very quiet this season except for the breakdown in the shower. I'm sorry, Gabby has been really quiet this season except for the breakdown in the shower. I happen to really like her. Mm-hmm. And I think she doesn't get like enough screen time, and it's because she's like not like pursuing a relationship. And that sucks. Like that sucks. I think like we're not getting to know her enough, and if she does like not get asked back, it's because they didn't give her enough screen time, because I think there's a lot more there.
Yeah, I agree.
And all we do is get screen time for Danielle, and I can't. Her and Carl are like tied for my least favorite characters probably.
When they had that conversation, like there was a night, I think it was a night like Kyle was spiraling. The three of them.
In the car.
The three musketeers talking about their like unsupportive partners, and they don't know what it's like to run a business.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. No, and I do remember saying this last season when Danielle would follow Kyle out of the house every time he stormed out. First of all, like, so not girl energy. And second of all, like, she's literally in love with Kyle, and she always has been.
And Carl.
And her following him out to the car and, like, giving him a hug. And he's like, I just want to be alone. Like, I can't. Like, that was really painful to watch. I thought that scene where she's, like, berating Gabby, chill.
Yeah.
And founder and CEO. That's all I have to say.
And where's her app? They had the launch party on last night's episode.
Yeah. Is it not out?
Like a good idea.
Is it not out? Like,
I don't know.
You can't go to the App Store?
I didn't look, but I haven't heard more. But I like the idea for the app, by the way. Just want to say.
Yeah, of course. By the way, it's out. It has 3.5 stars, 10 ratings. An absolute lifesaver, someone says. Someone says it's... Okay, that's not nice. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, you can't go by ratings. Like,
no, ratings are so negative.
A rating for my favorite app in my life.
It appears to be, like, legit.
It's cute.
It's definitely a good idea if they're, like, using AI.
You know who she needs?
Paige. Yeah. I have to say, I had enormous respect for Paige not going to Lindsay's bridal shower.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. You're invited to someone's bridal shower, but not their wedding. And they're, like, just getting back on good footing. So, like, it was nice of Lindsay to extend the olive branch. I don't think it was rude of Paige not to go. I understood her reasoning completely.
Yeah. I would like for them to be tighter.
By the way, same.
But it's happening naturally. I just have to be patient.
And I don't know if anybody's going to understand this call, but, like, is it Wes or West?
Great question. West, but maybe his nickname is Wes?
West is fibula coated. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. And Jesse Solomon is an amazing man. The song, like, I was really liking him all season. Everybody likes him. And then he was so, like, vulnerable and emotional last episode. Like, it was really nice. And then the song just put me over the edge. Like,
no, 1000%. And this the line about him being a big Jew. Like, I just am obsessed. And I think it's so rare that like a man shines through without being in a relationship. Like, yeah. I remember there was a season where all we talked about was Austin, but it was like this dumb, like, love triangle. To stand out on your own because you're sensitive, because you're vulnerable, because you're funny, like, is so hard for a man. And the respect, like, if they don't bring him back, seriously, end the show.
No, I think they will bring him back. I don't know why they wouldn't. I want
Unless he doesn't want to come back.
I want him to meet a nice girl.
A nice Jewish girl.
A nice Jewish girl, yeah. And the fact that they put the whole song in the episode, where I feel like people do silly antics all the time.
Yep.
Like, one, I was so grateful for it. It was such a nice moment, like, among the whole house. And I feel like even the cameraman, like, everyone was just, like, having a good time.
Giggling.
Yeah. He's
Loved it.
Really, really cute. And do you see anything between him and Amanda?
Oh, well, people on TikTok, like, put that in my head.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching it, like, when she went over and gave him, like, the biggest hug.
The post-recovery hug, like, when he got...
She was, like, giddy.
That was the only hug where she, like, hugged him, like, twice from two different angles, like, arms under.
Yeah, I ship.
I didn't see anything before that, though.
But do you ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, next week's the finale. Carl calls it off.
And we got all the Lukes from the reunion, and oh my God, Lindsay, like, you know, she just wanted to eat that up, and she did. And I think she's seeing someone new. Like, I'm happy for her. I genuinely, like, want good things for her.
Yeah, she deserves them.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little out of order today, but now, without further ado, let's get into the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
Let's. And just a reminder, today's episode is brought to you by ByHeart.
Yes, it is, which is super awesome.
Super.
Our first story, a little more alleged shade. So fans are convinced that Billie Eilish shaded Taylor Swift and Beyonce's psychotic 3-hour concerts. So,
by the way, I hate when, like, this is now the second time Billie Eilish has said something, like, clearly about Taylor Swift. Like, you don't need to put alleged in there. Like, it's obviously about her.
Right. Swifties are convinced that Billie Eilish shaded Taylor and Beyonce and their respective eras and Renaissance tours by taking aim at marathon-length concerts. She told her fans that doing a 3-hour show is literally psychotic in a station head clip that went viral on Thursday. She said, "Nobody wants that. You guys don't want that. I don't want that. I don't even want that as a fan. Even my favorite artists, I'm not trying to hear them for 3 hours. That's far too long."
Now, this is just a bad take. You know, I don't think anybody would be mad at an artist for doing more for someone who paid for a ticket. Like, it's very generous of spirit.
At this point, hundreds of thousands of people have gone to Eras Tour.
And like, it's clearly working.
I've not heard one person have that take, that it was too long.
Agreed. Same with Renaissance Tour.
Yeah,
like, if anything, people were just wanting more. This is like, okay, with the with the plastic waste take, it was clear like that was about Taylor, and sure, like an argument could be made about the environment, even though I don't think like on the list of things wrong with the environment, Taylor Swift's vinyls are the issue. This is just like a bad take, an incorrect take, and it's giving jealous. It's giving you couldn't perform for 3 hours, so you don't clown on other people for it. Just like Beyonce and Taylor out here like giving people a night, giving people a reason to get dressed up, like literally changing the culture, making an impact on the economy. Like how you could say, like seriously scrounge up anything to say that's negative about the Eras Tour and the Renaissance Tour, like it's giving jealous.
Yeah, I also feel like maybe I'm just misremembering, but after she said the thing about the vinyls, then like Taylor and Billie were like together again.
No,
there wasn't a hug?
No, and this week in particular, Billie dropped new music, and I think in an attempt for Taylor to A, make a statement, and B, block her from going number one, Taylor has now released 4 different new versions of what's the album called? TTPD, with like different live versions, because she's been playing TTPD songs live on the Eras Tour, and she's been like recording them live and putting them, so like to flood the Billboard charts and block Billie from going number one, and then also I guess be wasteful.
Oh, so there's beef between them, because I thought after the last time, like Taylor did something that made me feel like she didn't care what Billie had said, like wasn't angry about it. But I feel like after this, it's
clear.
So the girls are fighting.
And this is like, I took Taylor's side in the first argument because I'm always going to take Taylor's side. I'm not a Billie Eilish like girl. But like if you wanted to go back and forth, like I could see someone arguing what Billie was saying in that argument. I just ride for Taylor, and I'm always going to blindly support.
And the vinyls didn't bother you?
They didn't bother me. In this particular case, like this is such a bad take, and she really shouldn't have said it because it makes her look jealous. It makes her look incapable of performing at that level, and it just highlights that like you don't perform like Beyonce and Taylor. So if I have X amount of money, I'd go see one of them over you.
Yeah.
It's a bad take.
No, and it's just cementing her status as a Fabissina Punham.
It's cementing her status as a Fabissina Punham, always dragging on. And like a Fabissina Punham at its core is going to find anything to be like, is going to put a negative spin on anything. And how you could put a negative spin on Renaissance and Eras Tour, which are it's joy come to life. It's bright colors, it's music, it's happiness. It's like seriously Disneyland. It's the happiest place on earth. How you could then, it's actually, she out Fabissina'd the Fabissina. Like she really went there to go make it negative. Like, please stop.
No, it's seriously, it's like a parody at this point, how she can make anything just Ms.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what she takes on next.
Yeah, Disney World maybe.
She's gonna out Ms. the Miz.
Les Mis.
Exactly.
Well, that's the latest drama. Are you ready for our next story?
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little more Southern Charm drama. The Southern Charm stars are causing drama because Southern Charm's Kathryn Dennis is cuffed and crying during DUI arrest. The body cam footage from her DUI
I watched it.
Has emerged. Reality TV star Kathryn Dennis had a total meltdown after she was pulled over for drunk driving in South Carolina, and her dramatic tear-filled arrest was all caught on video. The former Southern Charm star was not so charming during her leading role in this police dash cam footage obtained by TMZ. Cops raced to the scene Monday following her 3-car collision in Goose Creek. We didn't know there was a collision.
Yes, that's what they said.
Last time?
Yes.
In the last article?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know there was a collision.
You know, it was really bad. And it makes her behavior in that dash cam video even more abhorrent. Like knowing the damage she did, just shut the fuck up and sit there.
Jeez, that is so bad.
I had 2 major thoughts after watching the dash cam footage. One is like, I seriously would never be a cop. My God, people are just awful. Like she's being awful, like just disgusting. The second is Kathryn Dennis is me if I ever got arrested, because I guess she was arrested while in possession of her dog. And I never thought about what would happen if you're arrested alone.
Yeah.
With the dog. Like I guess if you're with a partner, they would take the dog home, but they take the dog to the shelter. And I don't think that clicks for her until they're so she's actually like, she's being a bitch, but she's being calm. The second she realizes that the dog's being taken to the shelter, and I think they're putting him in like a crate in the back. They must carry crates with them. Oh my God, she loses her goddamn mind. Like seriously, it's like just now being put into perspective for her that she's being arrested, and like she freaks. Give me the dog. Give me the dog. Like seriously, so crazy. And honestly, me.
I know, but like to drive and endanger your dog, like to drive drunk and endanger your dog.
In addition to other civilians.
And right. But like, this is so upsetting. I mean, she's not on the show anymore, so like, I don't know what
could be done.
What's gonna, like, you know, what's next for her or whatever, but like, just as a fan of hers,
yikes.
I'm disappointed.
No, and dash cam footage never does anyone any, good. I mean, obviously what comes to mind for me is Reese Witherspoon. Oh, Luann, of course. Reese Witherspoon's dash cam footage is seriously grossly under-discussed. She has, a PR expert should study how she went from that video. Do you know who I am? I'm America's fucking sweetheart. Getting arrested for literally driving drunk.
I saw recently, I didn't investigate, but I saw
she wasn't America's sweetheart in that moment. She is now.
No, she was then. She's been America's sweetheart forever. Legally Blonde.
You saw a comment what?
That it wasn't her driving drunk, it was her husband.
And then I think she was, but she also was arrested because she was drunk and then her behavior,
Well, she can be drunk.
Yeah, in the passenger seat.
Yeah. But like
we've all been there.
Drive drunk and do that.
No.
She was just being a menace.
Yeah, I need to stop saying that. You're right.
And hindering
You're right.
police activity.
Yeah, and like, what's the word? She wasn't resisting arrest, but she was like hindering someone else's arrest.
So she was hindering someone else's arrest.
She was being a hindrance.
She was being an obstruction to justice.
Oh, that's what it is. Obstructing justice. Yeah. When you're getting in the way of justice.
Being served.
Correct.
So this is bad for Kathryn Dennis, as stated earlier this week, but now having the video footage just...
And it's long. Like she was like, there was a lot of drama in the video. Like it went in stages, and the dog thing was sort of like the climax of it.
Yeah.
She's being so disrespectful and like just, I would seriously add it to the list of jobs I never want to be, a cop.
Yeah.
Like dealing with the people at their worst. I'm sure sometimes it's funny, but no.
No.
Like so miserable.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story, which is some relatable news?
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are. Because Serena Williams is being praised for showing her postpartum struggles after failing to fit back into a denim skirt. So she's not skirting around the hard conversations. Fans applauded Serena Williams for opening up about her postpartum body struggles while trying on a denim skirt that used to fit her before giving birth to her 2 children. She said, "Okay, everyone, I've been working my butt off. Let's see what happens with my jean skirt. Can I fit into it yet?" So in the video, she's seen wearing shapewear. She attempts to squeeze into the skirt. She said, "I've been gymming a lot, but I don't know if the needle is moving. Let's see if Compton has a problem still." So she struggled to get the skirt over her hips. She said, "I can't say I'm happy about this." So she's getting a lot of praise for, sharing this moment, which as someone who is also in this exact moment, so much respect.
Anytime we talk about Serena Williams, my love for her grows. Like, remember when she ate the dog food? Like, seriously, her social media, she's not like crazy active, but she's always making waves when she does post because she's so funny. She also just launched a beauty company. I saw it everywhere on TikTok. People are obsessed with it. It's like a few products. I think it's called Win. Yeah, I think. I love her. Like, she's so real for this. And I thought the story was going to be that she's getting backlash for like wanting to fit into something. Like, can we just normalize like wanting to get back into like a groove?
Yeah, or get back to the person that you've been your entire life, and the last, like, your body changes when you go through pregnancy. That doesn't mean you have to stay at the size that you are postpartum, and that's not also to say that being the size that you are postpartum that there's anything wrong with that. Like,
right, like everyone's decision is good.
Here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with any of it.
Yeah, and it's all good.
And I do think that sometimes we feel shamed for like wanting to bounce back now. Like, it used to be you were shamed if you didn't bounce back and you didn't want to bounce back. Now we're getting shamed for talking about bouncing back or like praising it, or even saying like,
being excited,
acknowledging our successes. And it's like, can we not shame blame anyone in any part of this? Like, it's
shame, blame, and the postpartum game.
And so not only do I not want your shame or blame, I want to be able to talk about it.
Right.
And it's nice and comforting when you see someone else who's like, it's a long journey. It's not like you just either decide to stay as you are or bounce back. Like, what about in the middle? Like, I'm halfway between like where I landed postpartum and bouncing back. And like, this part is hard. I've had to buy like all new clothes because neither side of the spectrum fits me. Some of my like pre-baby clothes fit, but not in the way that I want them to. Like this sweater, it's a pre-baby sweater. You guys maybe remember it from like 2020. It's a little snug.
No, and like, I think seeing someone like Serena Williams, who is an athlete, who like fitness is life, gym, like her whole life, to say like, I've been hitting the gym a lot and I don't feel like I'm moving the needle. Like, that is such a relatable statement for anyone. But for somebody whose life at one point was fitness, like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, and it's very relatable to like not be at either end of the spectrum, to be in the middle of it, like working really hard, seeing results, but like not all the way. Like, still that doesn't come through. But this conversation is actually great for today's sponsor, which is
Yes.
ByHeart, which
So
is
ByHeart is an infant nutrition company built from the ground up to deliver real innovation on behalf of babies and parents. And their mission is simple: make the best formula in the world. And what I love about it is their whole message is like never skim, right?
Yeah, because they literally never skim. They use whole milk in their products, but they talk about how when it comes to motherhood, postpartum, taking care of your babies, like how we find we never skim, and you never really would. And there's so many things that I realize that I never skim on now with my children that, 5 years ago, I didn't even think, and I definitely skimmed on myself back then, but now with the babies, we never skim. And I feel
like you're making your own applesauce.
I'm making my own applesauce, turtle. I'm making my own bread because it's better for my family's gut health, and no added sugars in my bread like there is in store-bought bread. And that's similar to how ByHeart is good for baby's digestion, because my sourdough, one day, I did feed it this morning. One day my sourdough is going to be good for their gut health, just like ByHeart is. So it's so funny how you really find yourself never skimming. Also, like, I only now use non-toxic cookware when cooking for my kids: pots, pans, steaming baskets, wooden
cleaning supplies,
cutting boards, cleaning supplies. All of my cookware is non-toxic since becoming a mom. And that also lines up with ByHeart's standards and their certified clean ingredients. Yeah, never skimming and certified clean ingredients equals motherhood.
If I might praise you for a moment, I also feel like you do a really good job. Obviously, like, your kids never skim, best of the best, everything, But also, like, I feel like you really also make it a priority to, like, never skim on yourself too. Like, the things you care about, like watching TV, you're getting your shows in, reading, like your passions, cooking, being beautiful, like stylish, like the things you cared about before, like you still prioritize yourself too. And I think that's also really important. To be like the best mom is like to also take care of yourself.
Yeah, never skimming on the things that are important to you, because you want to be the best version of yourself so that you can continue to never skim for them.
Right. No, I think like you do a really good job of that, for real.
Thank you so much. Yeah, never skimming on my reading. I did a little bit of reading last night, put me right to sleep, slept like a baby. Ring can testify to that. And we're just not skimming. And if you're curious about ByHeart, you can redeem your welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast with code TOAST20 for a limited time. Additional terms and conditions apply. Also, something that I never skim on was something that I learned like about a year ago hanging out with Bobby from Slave City, which is the importance of using grass-fed dairy products and grass-fed milk and cheeses. And also ByHeart's whole milk is organic, grass-fed, not other products. So that's like a major thing I line on with them as well.
And I feel like we have a lot of girlies who listen to the show who are either like pregnant, in the newborn phase, postpartum, and when it comes to like self-care and like never skimming on yourself, I think that takes a backseat for a lot of people, and it takes them like a while to be like, no wait, I am also still a person in addition to being like a milk factory and a mom and a janitor and everything. And what is like a piece of advice you would give, because I feel like you did a really good job like balancing both, for someone who like doesn't want to feel selfish while like and how will you effectively do both, like never skimming on yourself but also your children?
I would say that I know I don't have time for everything that I used to like to do. Most of the things that I used to like to do or that would fill my free time, but like identifying what are the most important things to you personally, and they're going to be different for everyone. I would say for me, like it is doing my makeup, doing my, even if it, or it's just, or on a day, like when I'm really in like the postpartum thick of it, like just skincare, like just putting something on my face, maybe like putting my hair up in a bun with some product and like feeling a little bit more like myself. Also, when you're in that like immediate postpartum phase, like not skimming on the loungewear that you want to buy and like the comfy clothes that you're going to be in.
Oh, that's a good one.
You don't need like a million things, but like a few cozy products. Like I love cozy pajamas. I don't skim on my pajamas for me.
No, that's really a good way of looking at it.
So identifying like 3 things that are important to you to feeling good. Maybe for some people it is working out. No, that's not one of mine at that time, but like going for like making sure you got a daily walk and like whatever it is for you, like don't skim on yourself and identify the things that are going to make you feel like yourself.
And I would say also probably communicating those to your partner is enormously helpful. So you can be like, listen, let's say working out is one of those things, which that's crazy, but
no judgment.
Everyone's journey is their own. Being like, listen, I'm going to need you for 30 minutes to watch the kid, make sure, and don't skim. I'm going for a walk, or of course you can bring your baby on a walk. I'm going for a run, and that's important to me. And maybe there's something important to you, and I will support you in that.
Yeah. There's so many different things. I feel like for some people, it's like date night or being able to go out to a restaurant, have a meal that you didn't cook for yourself, or having a meal that you, sometimes it's like, actually, I want an hour to cook a nice dinner. That's healing for some people. So identify the things that make you feel like you. Don't skim on that ever. So again, if you're curious about ByHeart, redeem your welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast with code TOAST20 for a limited time. Additional terms and conditions apply. That is code TOAST20.
Thank you, Jackie. And thank you, Serena Williams, for sparking that really interesting conversation.
I love having interesting conversations, especially about like postpartum stigmas.
I know, not the stigmas.
The stigmas. And like what's crazy is like the stigmas have stigmas.
Yeah. Because that's exactly what you were saying about Serena Williams, like the bounce back culture. How, it was really toxic. And now I feel like we flipped the other way. And now it's like, what about both?
Yeah. And what about like the middle time, the middle period where like the journey, it's about the climb.
I just fucking love Serena Williams. Like that's kind of my thesis of the episode.
That's your takeaway?
Yeah.
Did you see that she tweeted something like what was it? Like a tennis racket or something? Like it was giving, I'm coming out of retirement.
Oh, please no. I think that's like the worst move for a famous athlete. Like going out as the GOAT. And I don't think Serena Williams has to worry about anytime soon anybody even coming close to beating any of her records. Like she is so far superior. Same with Tom Brady. Like,
that's just like the theory.
Actually, Tom Brady had Patrick Mahomes on his ass. Like I actually think Patrick Mahomes played a part in Tom Brady's thinking. Like, let me get one more ring to get even further from Patrick Mahomes. I know there's a lot of big, like Coco Gauff. She's so far from what Serena Williams like records are. There are men who are GOATs who are far away from Serena Williams. Please don't.
But I don't think it's only about protecting your records. It's also, I imagine like if she's in this period in her life where she's bouncing back, like I'm sure one of the activities she likes to do is play tennis, right?
Okay, also maybe she was just playing tennis and like tweeted like, hey, I'm playing tennis.
Oh yeah, could be that. Could be nothing more than that. But say she's like using tennis as a physical activity to get back in shape. It might be her mind, and she's crushing it. She might be like, what if I just went pro again?
Yeah, seems like I actually didn't need to retire. I'm really good.
I'm really good at this.
Yeah, it's possible.
Could be that. Our next story is a little more Kardashians news from the first episode, because eagle-eyed fans are calling out Scott Disick for having the weight loss drug Mounjaro in his fridge. So in the premiere of season 5 of the Kardashians, they're in Scott's kitchen and his fridge opens up and he's like showing his like low-calorie drinks, fruits and almond milk, because they're saying like, you look so good. And like in his egg compartment, you could see Mounjaro.
I just want to say, as somebody who was on a GLP-1 medication for many years, I also kept it in my egg compartment. And I would just like anyone who's also currently or has been on any of these drugs, you have to keep it in the fridge? And I don't know what about like the egg compartment.
No, it's literally made for the box. It fits like a glove.
It is, right? Okay, do you guys also keep it in there? Like we had like, me and Ben were both on it, so we had like a couple of boxes. It fits perfectly in there. I want to say something. I feel like this was planted. Like the way it's like seriously like front facing, perfect. He obviously staged his fridge for the episode, like because it's so perfectly clean and organized. Like I don't know why I felt like it was, because now we're talking about the Kardashians.
You think?
No,
I didn't think that, but I would actually prefer that, because it makes me like feel a little bad for him if like he exposed himself in this way and like really was caught out. And he can share if he's on the drug, or we've said so many times like someone doesn't have to share, but like to have it like out there and you didn't put it out there, that's a little sad. And so I hope that your version is right, but what would be the point of your version? Like
we're talking about the Kardashians episode. Like this is a business.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like the Kardashians are all executive producers. They don't have like flops like this.
Really? They might not even think of it.
I don't know. Am I wrong in thinking like it's possible? Like
I hope you're right. No, I hope you're right. I like that better than damn. He exposed himself.
Yeah, but I think that I would love if he talked about it, because, you know, there was a period where he was overweight and it's clear that he used one of these drugs to get back on track. He gets often cited as an example of somebody who took it too far, because there's like old photos. Like
there was like one day he looked bad.
Yeah. But like he was overweight, and I think
because he had an accident too.
Right. And a lot of things like made it difficult. Like everyone's weight journey, everybody has something that is stopping them from losing weight.
Something that brings them to Mounjaro in the egg container.
I just want to say, like, relatable. I love this. I don't know if it was like organic or not. Either way, like, we stand.
Yeah. Yeah, no issues. I actually sat down to watch Kardashians yesterday afternoon. I wasn't feeling well and I was like, okay, great. I'm just going to like watch some TV. And my remote wasn't working and I couldn't get it on. And instead,
God didn't want you to watch.
I took a nap, which is what I needed. Oura Ring was like very happy that I took a nap. And then that was that. Actually, I was out last night. I didn't even tell you that.
Where did you go?
I went out.
What,
like,
with Mary Orton?
No, with Olivia Oshry.
Oh my God, I'm even more FOMO. What did you guys do? Like have wine?
No, we went to like a little event at our friend's house.
Oh, friend? Disgusting.
And I drove again at night. I like when, like now.
How many people did you kill?
None.
I'm kidding.
But it's like it's now fun that I could drive Olivia around.
It's probably so fun for Olivia. Like she can have a wine.
Yeah, I don't even think she did, but like she could if she wanted to.
Yeah, because you're like sober basically.
Yeah.
You're not like a person in recovery, but you literally don't drink.
I'm a sober
like,
person, ATM.
You are a sober person at the moment. Like I would love to live next to you. Like great, let's go to dinner. I can get wasted.
Yeah.
But it is a little boring to get wasted alone.
Well, there were other people there.
Oh, well, I had dinner with the Satchel last night, so
Satchel Satchel?
Beat that.
I feel like we're literally even because it was sisters and sisters.
Yeah.
And
so beat that.
How was Dear Satchel?
Amazing. We went to this restaurant that has like a secret menu that's all kosher. They have a kosher burger, a kosher steak, a kosher chicken Milanese, kosher chicken paillard. So like we ate good. Like I waddled home.
Yum. I was actually thinking, I just want to say people were asking for a sourdough starter update. They were asking.
They were.
I've been feeding it twice a day because she was like, the bubbles were small and she was not ready. But now it's like doubling every 6 hours. And I think I might go for a bread like today or tomorrow. And I'm excited about that. And I want to cook up a feast tonight, I think. What should I make for dinner?
With the bread?
No, the bread won't be ready for like 3 days. That's the thing about it. Like you really have to plan in advance.
What should you make? What's the weather? Super hot?
Yeah, so not like a beef stew or anything like that.
Yeah, because I was going to say beef stew. Maybe you got a barbecue, like get some chicken on the grill, corn.
I think we're going to barbecue like every day this weekend because
it's such barbecue weather.
But I should go get barbecue tings.
Yeah, I'll be going to my country club.
Maybe a pasta salad.
Ugh. I just want to say I wish I didn't check my phone during the episode because I have so many like very interesting text messages. Like I have a voice memo from somebody and an Instagram DM from somebody else. Just like very interesting, you know?
That you can't share on the show.
No, but I feel like you guys can guess.
Well, our fifth and final story is a little viral TikTok news, which is a great way to round out the week because...
And it's viral TikTok news that Jackie wanted to talk about. Like I didn't even send this to her.
She didn't send it to me. You know who sent it to me?
Shannon Ford.
Shannon Ford sent it to me and she said, I don't know what you got planned for the Fast Five today, but I really want to hear your guys' take on this. And I said, Shannon, I'll see how things shake out. And Shannon, there was a spot for your story. And it is this viral video of this wedding in Lake Como. Gorgeous.
I think it's Lago de Como.
Lago de Como, new couple getting married, and an over-enthusiastic groom starts doing like a champagne shower, like he just won the big NASCAR race, and he starts champagne spraying his wife next to him.
Now, it's so disgusting for so many reasons, but do you know how fast like champagne can shoot out of that bottle? Like you can actually hurt someone if you're that close to them. So like, okay, calm down. Hazardous. Two, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you
like
the dumbest person on the planet? Like how many hours did your wife get ready? How many thousands of dollars does her dress cost? This is the biggest day of her life and you've just ruined her look, and like you don't have the presence of mind in that moment to realize that this is a bad idea. Like seriously, I'm worried for how this person crosses the street.
I seriously have to imagine that like they planned this. Like, you know, you say like, we're going to jump in the pool at our wedding. People do that all the time. Like I seriously, like I'm praying that she was like, yeah, do a champagne shower on me.
No, I think they planned champagne shower. I don't think they had to caveat like don't or do turn it on me. No bride wants this, especially like this is a fancy fucking wedding.
No, and this happens a lot where like things go viral at a wedding, mostly the groom being a dick. And like, how do you live with that? Like, okay, so it's the next day, you're probably on your honeymoon. The world thinks your husband's a prick. Maybe you're now seeing things. Like, seriously, I would love to hear from like a girl who went viral for her husband being a dick. I feel like it happens a lot. What happens to the marriage? We never get updates.
Oh, I think they're in wedded bliss right now, and it's so funny that their wedding's going viral and they're fine. And also, like, she doesn't look so upset,
mad,
like not like furious in the moment. She's kind of like, I feel like it'll dawn on her afterwards, but sometimes like things get crazy at your wedding, and I feel like they're just watching the videos and like laughing today.
Yeah.
But I do think this speaks to like an idiocy in this man.
Sorry, my phone is distracting me. By the way, 1000%, it also shows to like a, maybe this is like me generalizing and like being dramatic, but like that's a bad husband right there, you know? Like you're supposed to protect your wife as a husband. Sorry, yeah, I'm really toxically traditional in that sense when it comes to gender roles in a marriage. Like a man should protect his wife at all costs, physically, emotionally, and you're not doing that, like you're literally like physically and emotionally hurting her.
I'm cracking up. Apparently, he posted on his TikTok a picture, like a video of them, a selfie, and it said, "Day 1 of honeymoon. I'm getting canceled on the internet for having fun with my wife." Yikes.
No, he's giving really, really toxic. Like, I need to hear from the wife. She's welcome on the show anytime.
Do you think there's like a girl out there who's super chill and like doesn't mind getting showered with champagne at her wedding?
Yeah, she doesn't get married in Lago de Como, and she doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just using context clues.
Yeah.
So wishing her well, and seriously, her husband sounds so crazy and scary. Like,
just like
I'm
crazy,
being canceled for having fun.
Crazy, scary, stupid.
Yeah.
Not like evil, nothing like
violent.
That. Like seriously stupid to not in that second like put together that your gorgeous wife who spent months like getting her look ready like that it wouldn't click for you that she doesn't want to destroy it at the
like
biggest,
you shouldn't ruin
on the
it.
biggest day of her life.
Right, in Lago de Como. Some people just don't deserve to get married in Lago de Como.
Ain't that the truth?
That is our show. It is our last show before the holiday weekend, so we're going to miss you guys. We won't be doing a show Monday, but there is a Patreon podcast and video episode dropping. So if you head to patreon.com/thetoast, you can listen to that on Monday. We love you so much. Hope you enjoyed this really kind of amazing episode. I've enjoyed spending time with you, Jackie. I love you so much.
As always, I've enjoyed spending time with you, and I love you dearly. And I look forward to the long weekend so we can come back on Tuesday, Kumsa Fresh.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Toast and Millennium Morning Show, where we deliver the fast size stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast and where podcasts can be found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places where you listen to podcasts. Find us. So Toast, leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, how stunning, how wickedly talented we are. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Love you. Bye.